Hey, everybody. What we're going to talk about is what I like to call the break free number. And this is a little exercise that all new clients and things that I work with, I always want to figure out what the break free number is. So, with that, I am going to move over to another screen and I'll walk you through the break free number. Okay, here we are at the break free number. So what this number represents is when you can break the time for money trap. That's where you're trading 1 unit of time for 1 unit of money. And knowing this number will help you plan much smarter with your money. So here's how you do it. Basically, add up your life cost, like everything that it costs on a monthly basis, and then take that times 12. So monthly times 12. And if you're not at, one thing I'd like to say here, you want to add up your ideal lifestyle. So if you're not at ideal lifestyle at this point, figure out what that looks like. The highest number I've ever seen is $500,000 a year, and that was somebody that was living pretty well. I'm sure there's people that cost more than that to get through from 1 year to the next, but that's the highest that I've seen, and I work with some pretty amazing folks. So whatever that number is, let's just use that number, 500,000 from point A to point B through a year to live. And this included vacations, homes, all the miscellaneous, all of it, everything that was going on. And so take that number and take it times 20. So in this case, 10 million. That is what I like to call the break-free number, both of these. So there's really two break-free numbers. 10 million, if you had 10 million, why that at 5% net of taxes, net of everything, you would produce 500,000 a year like clockwork. Okay? Or if you had a revenue stream that brought in 500,000 without your direct trading your time for money, then you would solve this as well. Now, I'm not factoring in inflation. I'm not factoring anything like that, but a couple observations here. Which is easier to do? Get to 10 million or create 500,000 in revenue? Most people that I ask that question, it's get to 500,000 in revenue in what I like to call passive or pipeline type of income. There's multiple ways to do that. You could, some of them that come out are real estate, buy rentals, technology, maybe sell a course or expand your business through technology so that it serves a much larger audience. Another thought on that is if you have products that are not direct competitors, but they complement what your business does, and you could create, possibly an affiliation with that brand and create more revenue passively. Again, this is all about creating passive income. So there's multiple ways you can do it. The old school way is always about having to get to the 10 million as quick as possible. And for some, based on what they're doing, that's not hard. For others, that would be almost impossible. and in any short period of time. I mean, think about it. Even if a person was making $1 million a year, take out almost 50% of that for taxes, leaves them 500,000. If they're in California, take out a lifestyle there of even 250, leaves them 250,000 a year to save, not factoring any growth. That would be 40 years to save there. If they factored like 7% growth, you could cut that down to about 20 years to get to that $10 million figure, making $1 million a year and living at 250, even though your ideal is at 500. So really what I'm trying to say is the best alternative is a combination for most people. It's a combination of creating more passive income streams, which will start going up and up as you add more revenue streams, and build assets. Now you might be looking at this going, wow, that's super impossible. Well, the way to speed this process up is using leverage. In other words, if you were to buy homes, let's just use that as an example. There's multiple other examples. You could use, a small down payment and start acquiring one home, two homes. It could be fourplexes, it could be apartments, whatever. Point is, with leverage, what you're going to be able to do is create more and more of the passive and assets. So getting to the 10 million is not nearly as hard as traditional planning would have you believe, and or getting to that passive income. So what's the bottom line? Once you reach the break free, now, does that mean you quit working? No. But what it means is that you've broke that time for money trap. And so now you are what they would term financially independent. And things like the market and your business or your regular income, what you were trading your time for, these things are not nearly, you're not as dependent. So that's why you're financially independent. So this is peace of mind. Now, compare what I'm talking about to traditional planning. It would just have you investing this piece here and hoping that the market cooperated and went up and up. And it didn't solve any tax issues or anything like that. Again, it's the hard way versus the fast and less vulnerable way. So this is just simple training. And this is what people talk about when they're talking about being financially independent, is they have broke the time for money trap. They broke it. Now they can do something else. They can do what they're doing even way better. Why? Because they're not under constant money pressure. They're not under stress like 99.9% of the population is. And I'm using these numbers. Your numbers might even be way lower. You might be much more conservative with your lifestyle, and it might be 100,000 could have you living an ideal life year in and year out. Well, the goal, this is what I'm getting to. The goal, what is the goal? To get to that as quick as possible. As quick as possible. And it does not take nearly as long as you think it will. It only does if you use limited type of planning, which has you basically earn income, pay taxes, invest what's left after lifestyle. A lot of people running this road will give up before they ever hit here. I've seen, get this, I know people that work at the post office that have got to this in 10 to 15 years. And I know business owners who make millions per year that are nowhere near this because they don't understand that this is job number one when we're talking about finances. Breaking that cycle. And you see even professional athletes and actors and actresses, a lot of times they'll make a lot of money and they go bankrupt. Well, they never created passive income. So even though they were making millions, they still had to perform to make things happen. And that's what you do not want to happen to you. So anyway, this is just a simple piece that I like to share with my clients so that we can get clear as to exactly where they're at, where they're going, and I hope this helped you. So with that, I am going to talk to you next time. Have a good